Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host tonight, CRL Freefall, and welcome back to the Cone Racing League. We are here for Canada, Canadian Grand Prix, of course. Last week I was unable to be here, so thank you very much to CRL Origin Gamma and Relentless Mark for stepping in to take over at what was a very eventful Belgium Grand Prix around the legendary Spa-Francorchamps. We are, of course, here tonight in Montreal for what is round 5 of the CRC Season 5 calendar. A lot shorter track compared to Belgium. Should throw up a good bit of different racing from what we had last week, and a lot tighter and more technical in some aspects. So we'll see how this affects tonight. Speaking of the track itself, of course, a little bit of background information as we always do have. It's, of course, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, located in Montreal, Canada. Made its F1 debut in 1978, 4.3 kilometres long with 14 corners. We'll have 35 laps of which tonight, and this will be the 6th CRL race with the last CRA winner and pole sitter being Kogataz. Of course, raced in Tier 3 last season and unfortunately no longer races with us, but I'm sure we might see him back at some point. Anyway, let's jump back into the action as we go trackside with some of the cars on their first initial outlaps. You may notice with the overlay, I am not alone tonight. I should be alone tonight, hopefully, very soon. A special guest in the form of Pheasant Plugger 4, a legend in the game, our very own. If I'm the Paul DeResta of Clone Racing League, then he is, of course, the Murray Walker. Absolute legend when it comes to this stuff. So hopefully he will be here. The Pheasant has unfortunately missed his flight, it seems, but it'll just be very shortly. But we're going to jump on board with Atomic, who is the first to complete the lap. Lap time of around 1 minute 10, I'm expecting here tonight. Of course, there has been some updates to the game today, so performance may be shifted, and of course we may see a little shake up in the order here today with that. Looks like a very congested first sector, I must say. 3 cars very close round turns 3, 4 and 5. Obviously doing his best to get out of the way, but third sector and second sector actually very empty. But Atomic will be the first to set a lap time here. He's coming down the casino straight into the final chicane, trying to void that wall of jump. He does very well, very steady out of the final corner, and crosses the line to set the first lap of the night, which is a 1:10.6. Solid banker. Next will be Reverend Melvin, I believe. Nope, it'll be Crash Gaming. Spider Rob. Oh, this pit lane will be confusing tonight. Drone, nope. Wild Dog. AFL, that's who it is. He is on an outlap. We'll just go have a little look here as well. We had, of course, the Belgium Grand Prix last week, where we seen the drivers take to the tracks around the longest track on the calendar. And last time out, it was, of course, the season favourite Hedgehog 11, making a perfect strategy call to go and take the top step on the podium. AFL, a newcomer to the league this season, taking second place in Alfa Romeo, with Mark Wilson of the Williams taking P3. Very good result for all of them. As for the Drivers' Championship, AFL retains his lead at the top at 106. 24 clear of the McLaren of Reverend Melvin, with Hedgehog in third place, just 5 points behind Melvin. Piero not far behind, and Mark Wilson as well complete the top 5. This is a really interesting battle already at this stage, but of course with so many rounds left to go and 41 points per weekend available, anybody can still win this championship. Constructors wise, a big jump for some teams. Williams up at the top, 447. McLaren bottom after round 1, now up to P2. They've had a mighty charge, and that has been largely down to some strong performance from Reverend Melvin and Crash Gaming in this tier here. Mercedes complete the top 3 on 399, with Red Bull and Alfa Romeo very shortly behind. It is shaping up to be a very interesting championship here in Tier 4 this season. We've seen a lot of newcomers, a lot of returnees, and a lot of good performances. We'll try and find who is on a lap. Drone, he has invalidated. Piero goes top with a 1:10.6 as well, just 500s ahead of Atomic. Hedgehog in P3 at the moment. AFL, we'll go in AFL. The championship leader is, of course, invalidated his first flying lap, but he'll be looking to put in a very strong one early doors here to set down the bankers. Of course, there's plenty of time in this session. The weather is looking pretty dry, although, you know, we do know Canada, they love a bit of the extreme weather. Hopefully no snow, maybe a little bit of rain, we'll wait and see. But we did touch on it very briefly there. There has been a big update to the game, which will definitely have potential to maybe shake up the order a little bit tonight. The main one being, well, it depends who you ask. Either the addition of Portimao, which I'm sure we'll see at one point, as AFL does go top, provisional pole with a 1:10.3, a very, very solid lap. I think the next, Reverend Melvin probably jumping into the pits. We'll go with MUFC Harvey. We'll ride on board with him for the second, third sector. But yes, the update today, depending who you ask, the biggest addition is either the inclusion of the new Portuguese Grand Prix Portimao, which I can't wait to see in this channel. I can't wait to see in this league. I think it's going to have absolutely amazing opportunity. But the one mostly for tonight is, of course, the new handling update. Essentially, from my understanding, is they've swapped it across to make the car a bit more related to the Red Bull than the Mercedes. Essentially, we've got lower top speed due to some increased drag, a bit of improvement in the low speed braking, and this will hopefully iron out some of the drifting issues we've seen with the guys using the ABS. So they're the main big changes. Obviously, it's a completely different feeling, so there is potential for some shock results here tonight. You could see some guys that maybe not had much in the way of a performance so far this season jumping up the queue, just getting to grips with the new handling model, very, very slightly better than the others. But one man that will be looking to put on a very strong statement is, of course, the guy in the championship fight at the moment, Mark Wilson, currently P4 or P5. Apologies, I cannot remember off the top of my head, but he's had some very strong performances here, and he'll be looking to pile up on that on Canada as he comes onto the around the hairpin and onto the casino straight. I think I'm trying to talk too fast here. I might need to slow down, take a little chill, and just relax. First time doing the solo com, so I do apologise, bear with me, but hopefully the pheasant will land very, very soon. Mark Wilson going through the final chicane, cross the DRS activation line, that wing fully open, and crosses the line to go provisional P7 from 111.3. I feel he'll feel himself he's got a bit more on the tank, but it's of course early days, first laps in. Who will be the next? It looks like it'll be a Ferrari. Will that be Spider Rob, who is starting a lap, an outlap on two lap old tyres. That bit of contact cuts the chicane ever so slightly, it doesn't validate. There's a car very close behind him, it is of course AEK. I just touched on drivers as well tonight. We've got a debutant in the form of the Mercedes. We'll jump on board with him actually, we'll give him a little bit of spotlight. Riordan, recent addition to the league, he's stepped in as reserve tonight in place of CRL Digby, who unfortunately is not available to be with us tonight. But we'll be looking to take himself within this grid, see where he stands, and all I can say is welcome to the CRL family, as he does invalidate. It's very easy to invalidate around this track, however. It's very much like a street circuit in some ways. Very close walls, not much forgiveness. If you turn in too early, you're going to invalidate that lap and maybe spin it on the curbs, and if you turn in too late, you might be looking for a new end plate, probably a new front wing, possibly even a new front suspension. So it is a very, very difficult track. We've already seen the Maverick retiring, but of course that's down to a qualifying ban. I'm not sure the details behind that. I believe it must be due to a stewarding decision anyway. And it looks like Mean Man Moody. We've seen this guy, well, not a guy, a man I suppose. This man has had some seriously mean pace so far this season. We've seen some very good performances, maybe struggled a little bit in the race, but his quality pace has been there. He'll be looking to push on tonight, and I think he'll be pushing it up towards the top steps of the podium. He did of course have one, I believe it was in Sandwalk, but they wanted to make them more regular. Well, you know he's got pace, you know he's got potential. He does cross the line to do a 12.1. Not the best lap, but still plenty of time. I think we've still got, despite the big patch today, we've still got the glitch of not being able to see what the true purple sectors are. We'd love to see it code masters. Hopefully in the next patch it'll all be fixed. I'm also interested to see if we'll have the interval glitch. I would put my money on that we still have it. But jumping on, we've got Riordan coming down the back straight here. This is his first flying lap in CRL. Touch wood that he doesn't invalidate anyway. Don't want to give the commentators cross tonight, trying my best to avoid that. nicely through the chicane and across up to the line for a 1:10.5, goes provisional P3. Very, very solid lap to introduce yourself to the league. Very, very strong. We're going to jump on board with Wild Dog now. He is, he's had good pace at times. We've seen it, of course, the end of season 4. A few unlucky performances so far this season. He wanted to sort of kick on it and re-establish. He was piped as an early title contender at the start of the season, but maybe just struggling with the race pace and a bit of unfortunate in the race. Nice line through, I believe that is 3 and 4, 5, the right hander of 6. Cutting across into 7, trying to take not too much curb, trying to straighten up that mini chicane, I suppose it is. I suppose that's one way you could categorise this track as a series of straights and chicanes. Heading down into 8 and 9. Taking a little bit of curb, a nice bit of curb. Yeah, very nice. It is easy to run wide there and invalidate on the exit or even lose a bit of your car. Now, crucial exit here off the hairpin. Takes it nice and wide. A nice exit early on the throttle, and that wing will shortly be open for the run down the Casino Straight. You might get a little bit of tow from the car in front, and you might just be out of tow range, but could benefit him a little bit. Just a tidy exit through the chicane. He does it very nicely, keeping it out the wall, not running too wide, and the run down to the line for a 1 minute 11.0. P7 at the moment. We'll have him in the top 10. A solid banker lap for the first time, and he will have time to get in, out, and set a second lap. Let's give some love to somebody else who haven't we seen much of in the last race of them. Spider Rob. We'll give some Spider Rob. Well, he's on his out lap. We'll come back to him in a bit. We've already seen Mark. Well, Piero. Of course, we'll go for Piero. A well-known man within the league. Of course, raced here for a few seasons. Making his way up to tier 3 at one point, but finds yourself back in tier 4. Of course, in that hunt with the championship battle with the guys at the front, performing very strongly throughout the season, but we all know it's all very good performing strong at the start of the season. You need to keep that momentum going, and this guy knows how to race these championships. He's done it before, and I'm certain he can definitely do it again. He's on 2 lap old softs, so maybe not the quickest lap time he'll have in his logger, but he obviously thinks he can improve on them. A 1:10.628 at the moment, improved by 300ths, and he'll jump to P4, improved by a 10th, and he's looking on for a P3. Hedgehog 11, by the way, a shout out to last week's race winner. I didn't notice that. He's went provisional second. Only, what dare I say, 13 thousandths off of AFL at the front. And we do have a yellow flag in sector 1. It looks like, I think it's just cars letting each other by. Very tight at the front too, and first and third in the championship. And Piero has made me look very silly and came into the pits. Atomic has invalidated. Reverend Melvin, now, purple sector 2. That is probably a lie, but it may not be. We've seen this man, he's had a win so far this season. He is again one of that top 5 challengers. He'll be looking for another strong performance and to continue the momentum of the McLaren team. Not that I'm biased or anything, you know, just happen to be a McLaren driver. But he crosses the line and goes provisional P3. 700ths. Just under 700ths anyway, off the top time. It just shows we've got a very competitive close grid here. We've got, you know, the top 3 all within 800ths of each other, and then the next 4 all within a 10th of each other. And even Wild Dog and Mean Man, nearly 2 thousandths between them. It's so competitive top to tail, as we did see at that time in there. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was WAK. I think so. He was provisional 10 with a 1:11.1. But we've got 4 minutes remaining. Of course, it is only a 1:10 lap time, so there is plenty of time for every one of the drivers that are on track right now to jump into the pits, fresh set of softs on, and go for a lap. And I think a man going for a lap right now will be Scott Gay. He looks to be either on a lap or preparing a lap. I think he'll be preparing a lap because it is a 1:04 right now, so it must have been a slow lap, maybe recharging that battery. See though if he decides to go again for another run by his first sector, see what the difference is. 1:17.0, I would assume that was maybe a mistake in that lap or just a slow lap. I'm going to be starting with just under 50% ERS battery, so maybe it was a fast lap and just a little mistake for taking to switch that hot lap off, but we will see what he can do here as he rounds through the first sector. How's his time looking? He is only a 10th down on his best time at the moment, so definitely one on for potential improvement. We don't know how good his second and third sectors were on that lap, of course. He is just only 9/10 adrift of pole time though, so. And I believe that is a car just letting them by. Maybe not, might be a spin, but even if it is, done very well to keep it out of the wall. He is improved on his time by 300ths. A man, again, I haven't seen much of in this championship. I'm trying to share out the screen time best I can, as MUFC Harvey in the Mercedes goes provisional pole with a 1:10.265. Again, that is 4 cars within just over a 10th at the top, and 4 very strong title contenders, all of which in the top 5, and Scott Gatey just ever so slightly misses out on improving. Very so much. Big Ben, of course, a legend of this league, a well-known man, currently finds himself in a 1:11.6. He has invalidated his current lap, so he won't be improving with this one. Tomo Tiptop has retired, but that is in the pits. We'll go on board with Drone YT. Big shout out to this man, who stepped in last minute unfortunately and did some additional comms for Tier 1 as he goes deep through turn 8, 6 and 7, not 8. But a big shout out to him for doing that. It's especially a new league jumping in, and he's taking it on board, which we love to have the additional comms in reserve and standing by. And he's relished the chances he's had. With Cammy though on a lap, by that calculation he is 6/10ths up, so he is on board to move up to top 8 anyway, and he goes provisional P5 of 1:10.4 again, only 2/10ths off the pole time, and we don't know maybe how always that is not what we want to see. I believe that was Greg letting somebody by, and wee Cammy, I don't believe he was on a fast lap. I would say it would be an in lap, but a little bit of contact. Greg just coming out of the pits and trying to let people by, currently in P19. So we'll jump back to him in just a couple of seconds. Who is coming through the final sector though? It is W80K to start his lap. We'll go back to Greg. Oh, no we won't. That's Big Ben in the wall, through the wall of champions and the chicane associated with it, I suppose. That was a very weird wheeling, sorry about that. But that could be the end of his qualifying. I'd be surprised if he doesn't have substantial wing damage. Actually, we'll jump outside the car, and looking by that line I think he is, so that will be his qualifying over. We will jump on board. Greg isn't in fact going to get a time in, so it will be P19 for him. Crash Gaming, he'll be looking to improve, currently P18. He does not. He does, but not enough to gain a position, sadly. Scott Gay coming through the final chicane. 4 lap old tyres, not the best to be starting on, but looking to improve. Can he? No, he cannot. Next up will be the Red Bull of Piero. Not one, he's in the pits. It'll be an Alfa Romeo. It won't be AFL, it'll be Drone. He's invalidated, so it will be AFL. Current P2, all he needs to do is improve by 0.5 and he takes the pole. Through the last chicane, missing the wall of champions very nicely, not taking too wide to invalidate, and the run up to the line for a 1:10.447 cannot improve, so it will be P2 at best for him. Hedgehog cannot improve on P3. Reverend Melvin has invalidated, it'll be P4 for him. Piero in the pits, and it looks as if it'll be Spider Rob or Big Ben. Big Ben, of course, with damage. Spider Rob invalidated, and that looks like our qualifying grid for today. So it'll be the Mercedes of MUFC Harvey 15 taking provisional pole, not a provisional pole, taking pole, sorry, with the AFL, the Alfa Romeo of AFL in P2, only 400ths behind. It's very tight at the top. Another 3/10ths, a 10th and a bit actually, not a 10th, 100th and a bit. Back to the Aston Martin of Hedgehog 11 for P3, and 0.5 behind him is the McLaren of Reverend Melvin. Wikami in P4 with Piero in, Wikami in P5 with Piero in P6, and the new boy of Riordan on his debut, P7, only 2.5 3/10ths off the pack, the lead pack. That is a very solid time. Atomic P8 with Wild Dog and Mean Man Moody completing the top 10. AEK, Scott Gay, Tomo Tip Top, Mark Wilson, Drone, Big Ben, Spider Orb, Crash and Greg. You're the guys that lap time in, and the Maverick, of course, not able to set a lap time with the qualifying ban. Still no update on the Pheasant, he has yet to land, but we will continue on if you just to bear with me. I'll need to apologize if you sent a message to adjust the audio mix, so hopefully you've been able to hear me all right so far. We'll turn this down a little bit and hopefully that bit. But yes, as we've already said, MUFC Harvey, AFL and Hedgehog are your top 3 with Reverend, Melvin, Wee-Kami and Piero. Looking at, the top of the table in the championship, MUFC Harvey, AFL, Hedgehog, Melvin and Wee-Kami all in the mix. Piero in with a chance. The man Mark Wilson, he's had solid results so far down in P14. He might be slightly disappointed, but it's a long old race, 34 laps I do believe, and we will see who can come out on top. Of course, we might see an appearance from the very new Aston Martin safety car, another addition to the update. Just a quick update as well. Sorry, just to start there. We will have the Pheasant in about 10 to 20 minutes, I believe. I'm being told I'm a little bit quiet. Maybe just not having somebody else to bounce off, not being quite as loud and boisterous as I normally am. Who knows? And yeah, we will have COCOM hopefully for the second half of the race anyway. I'll do my best until then though to keep you all occupied and keep you all briefed on this race. But it is in for a filler one. Of course, the new handling model, how will that affect it? Obviously a bit of difference in the low speed braking zones and low speed cornering zones, so battling could be a little bit different, we could maybe see some closer action potentially, maybe some different moves on the go. We'll wait and see, I suppose. But we are away for the formation lap. 35 laps, not 34. Apologies for that. And we'll let MUFC Harvey take us on a nice little slow tour around the grid. Of course, we've got the first main chicane here of turns 3 and 4. Slight left kink, not really a corner, into the slow turning right-hander of 5, and then into another sort of chicane-ish corner for 6 and 7. The first of the DRS straights, starting here along the back straight, a good run down into the second chicane-ish, well, third actually, chicane-ish corners in 8 and 9. Very easy place to invalidate, to run wide, to maybe lose a bit of grip and lose some time, so it'll be interesting to see how the drivers approach it as the race goes on, with different fuel loads, different tyre wear, and of course dirt air and cars going side by side. The main sort of hallmark of this track, I would say, is of course, well, one of them, the mighty chicane. Big chance for overtaking, whether on the inside or around the outside, trying to get better traction on the exit, and then the mightily long casino straight. Almost a 2-in-1 straight here, just separated by the tiny little chicane at the end, but very tricky. One to watch as well will be the pit entry, because you carry a little bit more speed on pit entry than you do on entry to chicane, so hopefully the drivers are aware of that, and everybody stays away from any mishaps involving that, and hopefully they stay away from the biggest obstacle, the one that has caught out many a driver in the past. We've seen it every season almost. The F1 has raced around this calendar, the mighty and destructive Wall of Champions. But we are going to jump on board with Piero in P6. Actually, we'll go for Wee-Kami. No, we'll go for Piero. That looks a nicer shot for the run up to turn 1. As the car's reset for the end of the formation lap. I don't know why that's glitched. But it looks to have 5 red lights, and away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix of Tier 4. We've got it looks like an Alpine, that'll be Tomo Tiptop run a little wide, and that's a spin of the Mercedes of Riordan. He's had a little spin round in the first corner. A lot of battling further back within the pack. Big winner so far though, Drone up 7 by the looks of it. He's had a mighty start. The big loser being Riordan, and we all look to seem to have got away fairly clean, apart from that spin at the top. At the start anyway, from the serve. Unfortunate for him, but a long race ahead and plenty of time to claw the positions back. We'll jump on board with the biggest winner, of course, for lap 1. He's on a mighty charge already, lining up a move on Atomic into turn 8. Gets the move done, very nice and respectful from the two, and it looks like Ben has had a little incident at the back. We'll jump on board a little further up and see how the front are getting away. MEFC Harvey still leading the AFL, and Hedgehog, River Melvin and wee Cammy. No changes so far. Let's have a little quick look at the tyres, I suppose, then. That'll be the next big thing to take a look at. And of course the top 10 all starting on their quali softs. Toma Tip Top on the mediums, Scott Gay on the hards, AK, Spider Rob, Maverick, Riordan and Ben all on the softs, with Scott Gay, Mark Wilson and Greg going for the hards, and Crash going for the mediums. And we have our first penalty of the night already, a 3-second time penalty for AFL. I did mention briefly that it was pretty easy to get some invalidations, some silly warnings just by turning in ever so slightly early, and we've seen the first casualty of that tonight. Wild Dog closing in on the back of the Haas of AEK. Very top to tail at the moment. It is quite a tight, winding, almost street light circuit, and we have the first of the pitters, of course, in Big Ben. But up the front, Hedgehog has made a move on AFL. I wonder if there was a mistake there. Disappointing to see that, but he is very strong as well. But the man at the front, MEFC Harvey, a 1.6 second lead. I wonder if that's maybe down to them squabbling a little bit, losing a little bit of time so far in the early stages. But it's, of course, 30 plus laps to go. There's our predicted pit stop strategy anyway. Looking like it'll be a 2-stop, probably a soft, medium, maybe even a soft, medium, hard, maybe even a soft, medium, soft. We'll see if anybody has a go at that. But AFL will be looking to get past Hedgehog as soon as he can and try and chase down MEFC Harvey. Hedgehog, of course, will be looking to stretch his legs and pull out the gap, because DRS will be being enabled very soon. And the strength of the DRS down the Casino Straight as a man well and truly in a charge here. Drone getting past Piero, and our second 3-second time penalty of the night. Our third as well. Hedgehog, the man yet to get a penalty this season, has picked up his first. The man that has been cool, calm and collected, staying within the track limits for 4 rounds, yes. After 3 laps around Canada, has picked up his first on-track penalty for Coracotton, and the leader as well. So the top 3 all now within 3 seconds with 3-second penalties. It just shows you how hard it is to stay within the limits while you're pushing. Riordan looked like he was lining up a move there on the Ferrari off Spider Rob. Further up though, Wild Dog going for a nice deep move into the hairpin, and he does make it stick on AEK. Further back, Spider Rob. Oh, and we've got Crash Gaming, Spider Rob and the Maverick. A little coming together through the chicane there, the hairpin. Maverick doesn't look to have too much in the way of damage, but I think he'd do well for starting a party. Not ideal for how their race would have started. Greg closing in on that pack there, but it seems the majority of them have got away with damage, and the penalties are well and truly flying in as well. 7 drivers already with at least 3 seconds. I believe Wild Dog, I've seen his name a few times, it might even be 6. It is 6 for Wild Dog already after 4 laps. I know we said during the pre-season race that we had, there's another one, 3 seconds we had during the pre-season race. Steiny was of course on hand with his very efficient calculator and working out that, oh, it's Drone, the man with an absolute legendary start to this race, absolutely flying, has had a spin through turn 8 and 9. We've mentioned it already, them curbs can be lethal, and that will be our front wing replacement for him. He was running so well, unfortunate for him, but he will have time, of course, to get into the pits, get a new wing on and go for maybe a slightly alternative strategy. Ben as well having to pit, I believe, just the once, although he is quite far back, so it must have been a fairly big incident. But yeah, we've already seen plenty of drivers suffering the curse of track limits, and we do have DRS now as well, and that is going to be shaping up to give us a very tasty fight at the front here for 2, 3, 4 and even 5 if we can close down a slight gap. The leader though, MUFC Harvey picking up another penalty. This could be a war of attrition here. Maybe not who's the quickest, maybe not who's got the best strategy. Who can keep it between the lines? Who can resist the temptation to take too much curb to save a 10th and lose 3 seconds in penalties? That could be the decider here by the end of tonight. Apologies for anybody that is in the chat. As you can see, I have been very busy tonight. My throat is already on the cusp, so we'll hopefully be joined by Pheasant so I can take a little breather at some point. But this top 4 at the moment, well, second, third and fourth, I should say, very, very close. MUFC Harvey stretching his legs at the front, showing I have the pace. Maybe he's one to watch for the rest of the season, maybe adjusting better to the new updates. Sorry there, I thought we maybe had a little game issue there with Hedgehog's big X of disconnection, but it seems to be just a momentary spike of lag, so hopefully okay in his end, as Reverend Melvin does get a little bit loosey-goosey round turn 2. Wee Cammy has closed up to this gap, of course. They'll be suffering each other in go there, and we have had somebody off. It is Tomo Tip Top further back, and Atomic picking up a 5-second penalty for speed in the pits. Tomo slamming that rear wing against the wall, trying to get going. Of course he will go, so not causing too much bother to anybody else, but we do have some early pitters. Wild Dog, Atomic and Mean Man Moody. I wonder if that's purely strategy or if it is relating to some damage. I'm not 100% sure. Drone though going for the hards, looking to probably stretch it out, maybe put a bit of softs on at the end. Of course safety cars, virtual safety cars, not virtual cars of safety of course, virtual safety cars could have a massive impact on this race so far, but thankfully we've had 6 laps of just pure racing, and what a battle at the front. EFL lining up a moving Hedgehog there. That was a bit strange looking, I must admit, but he will have the DRS going down into turn 1 on the the Sonic wannabe, I suppose I could call him. Good man that Hedgehog. Of course the tier 4 admin here showing the guys his way and looking to kick on from his first ever CRL win last week. MUFC Harvey though looking like the firm favourite at the moment. Of course penalties will have a big impact on that. He is showing he's got the pace here today, and Piero has decided to pit from the pack and go for the medium, so we'll see how effective the undercut is here, I suppose.
Can you hear me fine?
Hello.
Good evening, how are you doing?
Good evening. The Pheasant has landed. He's earned his wings and here he is. How are you doing, Danny Mac?
I'm good, mate, thank you.
Oh.
Sorry. It didn't do the update automatically for me, so I've just had to sit through all of that, and then it's took me an hour and a half to get through EA's cookie and privacy policy. Scroll down the page to press OK. But I'm here. I've been watching that this anyway. I feel that YT Dron's been a bit unfortunate there after a decent start, and Hedgehog has shown that even he can fall to the penalties.
Sorry to interrupt you, Danny. We've just had a little bit of contact between the Hedgehog and the EFL going into the final chicane. EFL spinning around and hitting the wall of champions. So our second and third place is coming together. Maybe a little bit back for a move, but obviously in these conditions you just want to go for it. But yeah, sorry, Danny.
No, it's alright. I'm going right in the middle of the action, so feel free to keep me updated. I'm trying to catch up.
Are you in the lobby okay, or do you need another invite?
And I can see everything now. I can see it in the left. I'm just trying to see where all of the little bits of action is. Obviously there's a little collective group in the front 3. They're in little bunches, aren't they? Sort of 2, 3, 4 are in a bunch, 4, 5 and 7 are, 8 and 9 are, and then you can see the rest of them just coming in the pit.
Yeah, we've had the first pit run, so it'll be interesting to see. Piero went for a pit at the end of lap 6. He was in that front group with Reverend, Hedgehog and EFL until the incident, of course. So interesting to see how strong the undercut is. It will maybe affect him later on, his stint with lower tyre grip, but he could easily jump these two and take provisional P2 at the moment. But yeah, pleasure, absolute pleasure. I should have done this probably at the start of qualifying, all being well, but we'll do it now. For those of you who don't know, Pheasant Plucker, Danny Mac, the man with the best album in Cone Racing League, I would say. An absolute legend when it comes to commentary. I know a lot of the guys are new to the Tier 4 this season, they probably wouldn't have heard any of your exploits in the comms booth last season. You used to do when it was the academy, of course, you and Steiny, the dream team.
Yeah, it ended up being me and Steiny. It was a pleasure working with Steiny. Well, everyone that came on really. We had some high caliber racers come on and join me. Ferg and DeWill, of course. So some couple of Tier 1s joining me in the booth too. It was good, really fun, really enjoyable. Good insight into racing and superb racing. It looks like we've got more of the same now, which is good.
Yeah, more of the same as what we had last season. And we do have a safety car. I wonder what's caused that, because we do have all cars currently.
YT Dron is going into the pits. I wonder if it was him. He was on the hards, only 3 laps of hards, and he's back in the pits. So I wonder if he's trying to go a little bit too quick. He hasn't got a new nose. He's actually putting some medium. Oh, he is getting a new nose. Yes, he is. He's putting some mediums on and getting a new nose. So it looks like it was probably related to him for the safety car, I imagine. But I don't know why it would call a safety car when he was still going.
Yeah, a bit strange that, especially when it's unreduced. But big winner for this could be Mark Wilson here on the hards. Started off on them up to P2. Will be a big help for MUFC Harvey's where they maybe bottleneck the pack a wee bit. Can't help but feel a little bit sorry for Piero, although he's not going to lose out much. I think they just lose out position to Cami and AK going early. Would have been nice to see how they undercut, how strong it was. But this will really bunch the pack back up again, and could see some interesting battles. One to watch out for actually could be wee Cami and then fresh softs in P5.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting. I think there'll be a few now changing their strategy based upon this. Maybe a soft medium to finish it out, or medium soft to finish it out. Would you go for mediums for the rest of this, for 10 in?
I don't think the mediums are straight. I know the game has suggested as a standard a soft medium. Normally when it suggests a soft hard, we can stretch it to a soft medium, but I think that the optimum strategy is a soft medium or a soft medium soft anyway.
Right. Okay.
So I think it'll stick with that, but obviously they'll maybe get a few more laps in the faster softs with this.
Yeah, I think looking on track as well. Ice got gear with 9 laps on the hards. That Reardon noticed on the stream as well had come into some troubles earlier in the race and dropped right off. So he's done really well to get himself back into 9th, especially with probably a couple of positions in front of him that are well gettable now in Ice Got and Piero. So interesting, very, very interesting with all of them on 0 laps. But as you say, wee Cami's looking pretty decent at the moment, or is medium the tie to be on at the moment. Who knows? Who knows?
We've got a retirement under safety car. Wild Dog, that is through the chicane-esque corner of 8 and 9. Looking to maybe push too hard to catch up the pack perhaps and losing it on the curb.
Yeah, you just see there in my screen I've got Big Ben's view up, and it was the kink at the end of sector 2, or mid sector 2 should I say, the left-hander. It looks like he's gone into the wall there. I imagine he's split the inside of the curb. You're right. I think he was trying to catch the pack up, and things have gone sadly wrong, but unfortunately that's the end of his day, sadly.
It's quite a strange one that. We get a safety car with no DNFs and it ultimately causes a DNF. Potentially that's a one for the books, I suppose.
The safety car could see the future.
I'm just looking as well, I haven't had a chance. Is it the beautiful new... It is the beautiful new Aston Martin safety car, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
A lovely green as opposed to the silvery... the silvery red.
Lovely bit of kit, that, isn't it?
Nice little change from what we're used to, I suppose.
Yeah, I like that. Looks smart.
And always good to have the additions from the developers, adding the new tracks, of course, Porthour today, and the hand-on update. He had much experience in the game. Well, of course you won't. You've just done the update.
I've not long got home from work. It's been a bit of a heavy day, so I stayed back late. I thought that putting my Pios in rest mode would have looked after me and done the update, but of course I got home to just turn on and join you, and as I came to join you, of course I had to do the update, which was about 25 minutes worth. Nice.
It's lovely, just what you want.
Thanks for that.
I was fortunate to get home from a out of house activities today at about 2 p.m. So I managed to quickly stick it on and get a few laps in.
Have you? What's it like? Is it running good? I've been told by people it's lovely.
Reverend Melvin and Hedgehog getting a penalty for severe collision. Well, actually, just Hedgehog getting the penalty. It looks like. Oh no, Reverend has got a. Oh wait. No, Hedgehog hasn't got the penalty. It's Reverend has got a 5-second penalty for touching the back of Hedgehog. So, not ideal for him.
In fact, on Reverend, Hedgehog is just flicked. His X is flicking on and off. So I wonder if he's came to a halt and that's meant that Reverend's hit him. It looks like it's glitching with Reverend because Cammy's all of a sudden in front of him on my screen all of a sudden under a safety. I
just caught that on. I caught that on the stream there, and Cammy was actually phasing into the side of him.
Yeah, exactly. The one I've got. So you must be on board with Reverend Melvin. Looks like they've gone into contact again. Now there's a car disappearing. What's going on?
We did see this in the Tier 2 race. We had an incident through Eau Rouge at Belgium last race where two cars essentially desynced and took each other out. But I wonder if this is desynced between Cammy and Reverend Melvin.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I think that the odd car keeps ghosting here and there, and then as a result of that ghost, I think it tells the next one to move on. I mean, Reverend's got in front of Cammy's got in front of Melvin. Hedgehog still sat there with a cross on his back to suggest that there's a connection error there. Anyway, the car's in and they're away.
Yep, we are back to green racing. That's always what you want to see, though. Your host of the lobby with a red X. Come on, Hedgehog, get it together, man. Do have a dive on. It seems to have fixed itself. Whatever was happening, a dive from Reverend Melvin on Cammy, and they have come together, slide into the wall.
And just on that, Greg's game centre also got in a little bit of trouble on the Wall of Champions at the end and span. I don't know if there was contact in there or not, but he was facing the opposite direction and he's dropped to the back of the pack.
We've had a double spin through turns 3 and 4 as well. AEK looking to get a move on Cammy, and Riordan, I think he was trying to get a move on maybe Crash Gaming, but they've had a little spin around and they've dropped well back, so not an ideal start for some.
There's there's one hell of a battle going on back there. Big Ben was just with Drone by T, and effectively Big Ben for a really big block really to try and stop him getting round, and I think he had just outbraked himself and he's gone off onto the grass, so Big Ben's left behind. YT Dron's also got right up between Atom MC, and he's going to go on the outside going into the third final corner, the hairpin at the bottom, and he's passed him all right. So there's a little bit of a train now, as you can see. Riordan, Mean Man, AFL, Tomo Tip Top. Yeah, and then he's just a little bit further back from Maverick, so not massive gaps.
Just looking as well, Hedgehog has really dropped off the pace here and he's still ghosting, so I wonder if that might be the issue with our bit of desync. Maybe our host has had a disconnection. Are you able to send Hedgehog another invite just in case?
Certainly will.
Just that's the only thing I can think. It's a bit strange that. He will be disappointed. He was running pretty well in this race, but Cammy on the fresh softs.
Can't invite players because this game group is closed. Interessante.
That's very strange. I wonder if we can get a...
I don't know what's going on.
I think it may...
What are we looking at? There's hang on, you keep going. There's been something said in the chat. Just find out what's going on.
Yeah, we'll find it. Oh, we do have a DNF though of Crash Gaming through the start of Sector 2. So, seems as if he's maybe went deep and lost it under braking into the wall. And it is a BSC for that incident. Crash, he was running near the back, but of course on fresh as hard.
Just on just a confirmation of the penalties here. Reverend Melvin's racking them up like there's no tomorrow. 14 seconds. He's just got to accumulate there. He's got an extra one just. Mark Wilson dropping down. What's happening there? He's just jumped in the pits. My apologies. But yeah, that's quite severe considering Cammy is on NOM at the moment, and 6 seconds for MUC Harvey. So looking really good for Cammy, as we said on those softs. Hedgehog, I'm struggling to get him back in to the race, but he has also said that he's had a problem with the connection, so he's trying to get back in the race. But this is obviously going to be a big hit for him at the moment. Virtual safety cars control. Oh no,
that's a drive through for Scott Gay and AEK speeding under that. I wonder if We have seen it before. It can be a bit finicky, this game with the Delta. So I wonder if they've fallen foul to that.
Maybe so. It's a brutal game on the Delta. A couple of times I've felt for that as well. I really had to slam the anchors on, but of course you have to keep, a thought for the driver's welfare behind you as well. That sometimes an immediate brake to stop you get under that Delta will also be the brake that brake checks someone a bit too much behind or causes a bit of a domino effect if you're bunched up like we are at the moment. So it's a tough decision to make at the time.
Contact between the 2 and 3 coming through the final chicane. Piero looked to get Reverend Melvin, looked to get a move around the outside of Wee Cammy. They went side by side through the chicane and then coming together after the Wall of Champions. And that is Wee Cammy into the wall on the left hand side and dropping down to P10. Sorry, Danny, that was I just caught that perfect timing with the camera, but the man that we had pegged on for a very good result suddenly seen that slipped away from him a little bit. Of course, there is still plenty of time, anything can happen, and keeping his nose clean, keeping the penalties off will certainly help his case. I wonder as well, I'm just going to try, because I've had this before where it's resorted. No, I'm getting the error as well. So I believe what's happened is Hedgehog's disconnected and whoever the new host is will only be able to invite him. And unless he's got an invite to the session from an earlier instance, he might struggle to rejoin.
Yeah.
It's a big shame for him.
That is a real big kick. He's so unfortunate, that Hedgehog, because he's right in the mix, isn't he?
He's up there in the championship battle.
So Reverend got in the pits, and Tomo Tip Top assumes the position of third position.
Jordan, though, a great recovery drive after being at the back after essentially turn 1. Can't find himself in P4. No penalties as well.
He's done a job. If you look at his tyres as well, by the way, you've got, if you look at the cars around him, second and third on 10 laps of mediums and hards, mean man above him as well, just below him in fact. So Raiden's he's having a great drive at the moment. In fact, he's sitting in a very nice position. Not as good as a race as I would say MUFC Harvey's having mind. He's going. He looks very, very well at the moment, doesn't he?
He is 11 seconds clear at the front, but the big thing to note there, 9 seconds of penalties, so it is only effectively a 1.9 second lead, 2 second lead now, I suppose. So maybe.
Yeah. Wonder if he'll have put his foot down as a result of that. Atom MC gets another penalty. Doing too well with them either. I think he's up to 50. He is up to 15 seconds of them now. Not great.
Tomo Tip Top having a little spin on the 10 lap old hards on the exit of the hairpin gives Riordan up into the podium spots. Mark Wilson having a run, of course, on the ghost of Hedgehog 11, and does get the move done. The AI not really too willing to put up much of a fight. Maverick in P13 though, 2 lap mediums. There will be a few in front and have the pit. He started at the back with a qualifying ban, so he's had a solid performance. So we do have a yellow flag, it seems. Oh, it's green now. Not sure what was going on there, but yeah, solid performance so far. Few positions made up with pit stops ahead of him. And
he's got another penalty, Reverend Melvin. He's not quite getting the corners right. I mean, he said before on the stream before I joined, how brutal this track can be. You don't have to make a bad corner really for you to get a penalty on this. You can take a corner relatively well, and it can be, the margins are tiny. Certainly in turns sort of 3 and 4, the margins are absolutely tiny to get wrong, and you can quite easily get a corner cut as a result of it. It's a brutal track. It's not very forgiving.
Yeah, it's one of them. I think I mentioned it earlier on. You turn in very slightly early and you think you're okay, and it hits you with a warning, and once you get the one, you become very aware of it, and you can sort of almost overthink it, trying not to do it too much, and you actually end up losing your natural rhythm a little bit and actually cutting the corners too much. Of course, the alternative to that is running wide and tapping the wall, so you probably are better taking a 3-second time penalty than a 20-second pit stop, of course, but neither ideal, really.
Yeah, I can see also just in the chat now, obviously Hedgehog frantic but trying to get back in. This must be obviously hard for him to watch, considering he's the host as well, that things have gone wrong. I'm just going to quickly try and invite him again. Just give me a minute.
I think it'll be whoever's been made the de facto host, which unfortunately we can't even check in.
Is there no way of finding that out?
The only way I can think of is I've had it happen before in a race where it was actually in another lobby where Hedgehog was the host and he had a disconnect, and it made me the host. Had somebody use the request to join feature.
Right.
So I believe if he has on PS5 that might work. He might be able to if he goes on his friends list and
request a job.
If he requests, yeah, even if he does it on my name, say, it'll send a little thing to the host, and they'll just be able to quickly press PS and X if they're.
Right.
That relies on a little bit of goodwill.
I believe we've just got past Mark Wilson. Looks like there's a red flag in sector 3. I don't know who that belongs to, but a second ago there was also a little error by Spider Rob. That might be him again. There's no noise, just getting taken by Wee Cammy at the back of the field going in towards the Wall of Champions. But Spider Rob on the previous lap, might be this lap actually. I think it was the start of sector 2, I believe. He lost the back end and slid out, so he's dropped to second last behind YT Dron. That obviously we had an inkling that he might be doing good things this race. You can see at the top, Reverend Melvin again, 3-second time penalty. He's starting to teeter on borderline race ending here. 20 laps in at 35.
Yeah, Mark Wilson getting back past Mean Man Moody into the hairpin there, but Mean Man emptying his ERS to try and keep within the DRS of Mark Wilson, of course. The activation or the detection point being prior to the hairpin does result in, if you can get the overtake before the hairpin, you can get a really good escape down the long straight, but keeping with him, good little battle here for P4. Just have another wee look at the penalties like you're saying. Yeah, Reverend Melvin and Atomic both in 15. I believe the cut-off for disqualification is 30. We have seen that in the... I think so. I think it's 10 penalties.
That was like 24 or something.
I might be wrong on that, but I'm led to believe it is 30.
Perfectly honest. So he's a good way away from game ender, but certainly any points are starting to fade a little bit with the more he's racking up in the position he's currently finding himself in. Incidentally, there's only one person on the track now that hasn't been in the pits for a stop, and that is Ice Scott Gay. He's on 20 laps of hards. He's the only man on the track not to stop, so I think he was going to go for a one stop, maybe a hard medium potentially, or would you get a hard soft on here?
I think we've seen the first in the initial stint starting the pit after about 7-8 laps on the soft, so he's not got far to go, to be fair, to make that happen, and maybe just stretching out the tyres a wee bit. Piero pitting after 14 laps in the mediums, so they would definitely get to the end if he chose to pit now. If the mediums are doing about 14, yeah, I would say you probably at best want to maybe do about 8 or 9 on the soft, so he could potentially go on, yeah, like you say, the hard soft. It could work out for him as well, be very racy towards the end of the race there.
Yeah, sharp, be interesting one. He's not out of touch just yet, although he has got some penalties also. You can see that's a big thing in this race, minds, dear me.
The only 3 not to have penalties are Wee Cammy, Piero and Riordan. If you're a Mercedes driver in the other tiers at the moment, you're rubbing your hands. Oh, we do have a spin. Tomo tip top through it. Turn 7, I believe it is, just at the start of the back DRS straight. Spin it on the 15 lap old hard, so maybe just losing it ever so slightly. Of course, not the best racing tyre and won't provide the best amount of grip, but still, maybe that just shows how good a job Scott Gay is doing out there on 21 lap old hards. Does let Big Ben through. He's had quite a good recovery drive as well since the safety car. Of course, having a spin early doors as well, got himself back up into P6. But 2 looking very good at the moment, I would say, is Riordan and Piero, both in the top 4 essentially, with no pace.
I was just about to say that. Piero looking absolutely lovely now, because those mediums have come to get into the end, so and he'll be able to keep a decent pace towards the end. If he can undercut, he might see himself do pretty well out of this. Depends. WFC Harvey and Reardon are obviously going to be coming in at some point. Mark Wilson on 8 laps. How many is to go? 12. So the mediums now, that 20 laps on mediums is a bit much, isn't it? Around here, you won't get any grip whatsoever by the end of that. So no, he's they're all coming in definitely. So Piero in a decent spot there, 10 seconds back. Oh, actually about 22 off the leader, only a bit more.
About 26 off the leader, but of course no penalties. The only thing though, the top three in front of them will be able to pit for, well, assuming they have them, they'll be able to pit for fresh softs. And there we go, we've just got our theory confirmed about the one stop with Scott Gay. He's went on to a fresh set of mediums, so he'll be looking pretty strong towards the end as well, looking to catch up some of the guys in front. Minimize his penalties.
I was just going to say it's exceptionally close, the race. Looking at the whole course here now, there's not huge gaps. I think there's a little big gap back from AFL, the top 6, where there's about 9 seconds. But bar that, it's nothing great deal more than 3 seconds above the track. I think it's looking like Sad Dave Hedgehog doesn't look like he's going to get back in the race now, which is unfortunate. He's dropped right down to 15th from, I think, was he 4th, 5th when he went off. So that's going to be hard to take. We've tried getting him back in several times over, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. I've tried several times now, keep trying every so often, even just hoping for the best, but unfortunately it's not turning out that way. So bit of a nightmare, but certainly a gap between the top few cars now.
Yeah, MUFC Harvey is stretching them legs again. It was, well, a few laps ago we were looking at a 10-second gap. It's now up to 13.2, 13.3.
Yeah, although he's also, penalties, he's got 12 seconds instead of 9 now, so it's actually worked out about a second difference again.
It is very borderline, maybe thinking that worth taking an extra penalty to push the gap, but if he could push this pace without the pens, he'd be on for a solid drive. Of course, he did take pole, but only by a 10th, so it didn't look as if he had lightning pace compared to everybody else, but race pace is obviously there. We have seen a few battles further back as well while that's been happening. Meanwhile, the DNA and the other Haas and Maverick maybe starting to line up a move on Rever and Melvin, who of course is a serial offender with the penalties as well, so I wonder if he'll fight it too hard. Interesting enough though, EFL is on 11 lap old softs, and he has just got past Big Ben. And we do have a retirement at the same place as, and this just throws everything up in the air, what we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes, Danny.
Wow, yeah. Oh God. He's been having a tough time a few laps for them, to be fair, this spider up from what I've seen. I also, just before that, by the way, Big Ben went for I don't know what the right word is, audacious move against AFL. Got it done, absolutely flew by him, but them two have been having a little bit of a battle and a bit of sight of each other. But that safety car, as you've just rightly said, is going to throw all of this into the air. Do you know what the killer is really, or even more positive for the Riordan's and your Pieros, with no penalties, just bunching that pack right up with 7 laps to go is, by the time the car comes in, what it would be, 8 laps to still go, and that we're going, and that's obviously perfect for a soft. So you're going to probably see everyone buckle up the softs now, aren't we?
Well, MUFC Harvey going for fresh medium, so that implies to me that maybe he maybe burnt through a lot of set of softs in qualifying, and all he's got is the medium. Riordan though, P3 with no pens, with Piero on 4 lap old mediums, and his teammate in MUFC Harvey on 0 lap old mediums but 12 seconds of penalties. You know, what a recovery drive that would be from P20 out at the end of lap 1 to this position now already. Like, fair play to him, and he's got every chance here.
Oh, he's sat in a lovely spot now, isn't he? He's sat in a very, very nice spot. He's got every chance in the world to go and win this. Mean Man, if he keeps that, he's just found himself in a decent spot as well on the 3 lap softs. Has it changed? Oh, they're all in the pits now, aren't they? Some of them are in the pits now. Just looking to see who's coming on the soft and who's not. I guess some will have had worn softs and thought that the fresh mediums would have been better for the track than the worn softs, but by the time, I suppose that's what we've got left. Yeah. Full soft stint, wouldn't it?
Yeah, potentially that's a very good shout there. Mean Man, as you're saying, he is putting in P5, 3 lap old softs, but he's only got 6 seconds of penalties, which when you look down the order, you know, everybody else round about him has got penalties, with Mark Wilson in front of him with 12 and Reverend Melvin behind him with 18. MEFC Harvey up there with 12 seconds, so if it stays as he is, he only needs to stay within 6 seconds of the leader. And he could be on for a very solid podium here.
Yeah, the other thing that to keep a little eye on is that currently the fastest lap is by MUFC Harvey with a 1:12.6. I imagine we're probably going to see everyone fight for that now. Dron YT's a lap behind, so I think he's trying to get past everyone and get past the safety car. Yes, he is. Can he do that and go back through past the whole pack and go past it?
I would say not, because it's just been disqualified. I thought you had to rejoin in.
I didn't think he could. I mean, he's just slowed right down again. I think he probably understood what he'd done. So YT Dron's just pulled up to the.
He's been DSQ'd. He's been black flagged.
Oh man, I was just about to say I've never done that before. If you're a lap down, you're a lap down. But you need to be in front of the safety car, of course, to get around that lap and join back on with the back of the pack. So unfortunately for him, he did not get the memo. And he's DSQ'd. Unfortunate for him. He's again up very topsy-turvy race for him, really.
Yeah, he had a poorer qualifying from what we've maybe seen from him, but he was absolutely flying off the start. I know there was a few incidents maybe getting a little benefit of that, but you don't make up about 9 positions in 2 sectors by just being lucky. He was obviously had really good pace, and we've seen him drop back and then come back up through the pack until another little incident, but safety car is in this lap.
Yep, safety car's in, we're all going again, front 3, sharp away. There's contact.
The safety car is not. I have no idea what is going on.
The safety car went in the pits there, and they all set off, and then all of a sudden the safety car was there again. The safety car's in the middle of the straight, going slower than everyone. Now it's staying behind Mark Wilson in front. Mark Wilson getting 12 seconds, so he is now the safety car. The safety car not passing Mark Wilson. He needs to slow down and get out of the way of the safety car, because it's got either one more. Has it got one more lap out? Or was it supposed to come in there? Was that second lap?
It did say it was in this lap.
Did it?
Yeah.
Everyone's lost the plot. I don't know where. I mean, Mark Wilson's just set off. He doesn't know what to do. He's just driving.
He's just going for it.
He's in front of the safety car by some distance. This is very, very strange. Mark Wilson doesn't know what to do. So our leader's just got 8 seconds clear when everyone else is behind the safety car. So I can't explain that.
I wonder if it's telling him to catch up with the pack, and he's going to end up a lap ahead at the back.
I think we've had a full-on meltdown of the game now that our host got removed. So whoever it's now hosting it, sadly, it's picked the person that is Wi-Fi isn't very good.
I think as well, we did get a message migrating host, so I wonder if it changed host to one of the people that had recently just DNF'd.
Yeah.
And they've left session as the safety car's coming in.
Yeah, probably.
That's the only theory I can think of.
I mean, I have to say, I was wondering whether or not it might have been an idea. I mean, if we just jump back on Piero a second, who is now just about to see the car come in, is it going to come in? That's the question. So it slows down again to go into the, and it's appeared on the grid again.
It's glitched for a second, but
it's gone in the pits. It's gone in the pits. Riordan has followed it in the pits. I don't know why he's waiting till then. He's got softs on. Now he's put mediums on.
I think that there was a lot of contact. There was a lot of 5-second penalties.
I've lost the plot. What is going on? Riordan, he was coming in. There's a double stack now for the Mercedes. MUFC Harvey also in the pits, also waiting to get a new wing put on. Ice Scott Gate, I think he's just come out the pits. He's getting a new wing put on, as is the Maverick. This is tragic in every way. Hedgehog still treckling around there in his ghost himself, battling away. Everybody's got penalties now. This game's completely up itself up. Mark Wilson, as you can imagine, is 26 seconds ahead, which... What do we do? What do you...
This will be one for the stewards, and can I hand my resignation in now?
Yeah, I mean, At the moment, I can't obviously promise this 100%, and it keep me. This is an opinion only that I could possibly see a re-race due to the errors on the. Oh, Piero in second. He's just absolutely smacked off the side in the Wall of Champions. It wasn't major enough to cause too much damage, but I think he'll have a little bit of wing damage now, so he'll be even slower still, which means that the gap that Mark will be pulling out will be more and more and more each second. But are we going to allow Mark the time that he's gained, albeit that no one else could have gone any quicker? I don't think that would be right. I think it might end up being a re-race. It's just because of
just a multitude of incidents. I do sort of agree with that opinion. Of course, that'll be something for probably the head admins to decide. We do, of course, have a break week coming up very, very soon, so it would provide a nice opportunity for a Monday night re-race.
Hypothetically.
Potentially,
yeah. I think it's a tough one now. I mean, if we're looking at the side of the screen on the left-hand side, it now looks like Mark's won by like a country mile, and that's not really how we wanted this race to finish. It wasn't the case. It didn't look like it was going to be the case. We looked like we had one hell of a finish coming up. I mean, Big Ben, he'll definitely not want to re-race. He's been calling up quite well. He was well back in attack at one point. He looked like he had it absolutely nailed until he came into problems. But he only came into problems, I believe, because of the glitch, was he not? AFL just getting a 3-second time penalty, but at the moment I don't know if this is all just trivial. To be honest, look at the state. I mean, we don't want to see that either. Just to sort of, we can be getting fastest lap in 1:12.5, but just to state what we're looking at the moment on the left hand side of my screen, I've got penalties up. Mark Wilson 12, Piero 5, Big Man 9, Reverend 18, Big Ben 9, AFL 14, Atom 21, and it goes on. Everybody's got one apart from Reardon, who you've got to. Your heart must be bleeding for him. Reardon or Reardon, whatever he's pronounced as, L15L or I15I. But yeah, he was in the absolute. Well, everyone was in the driving seat, but he definitely looked like he had a great opportunity to go win this, which I think is going to be very hard for him to take. There's going to be a million incident reports.
Clear any stewards watching, clear your diary for the next 24 hours, 48 hours maybe. It's going to be one hell of a meeting.
I can put holiday in tomorrow for this. Get through this. I don't know what to input into this really now. Reedon's just set her fastest second sector. Obviously, the cars on the track don't know what's going on. You just have to carry on and crack on. Obviously, they'll be looking at this, getting all confused as to how the leader of the race got half a minute ahead inside their 7 laps to go, with still 4 of them to go. So he's managed to do it in 3 laps. I don't know what's going on. There's obviously incident reports already coming in. So we'll see what happens in the final part of this race. Is there any sort of little battles going on, just to sort of finish these last 3 laps out?
We have a very close pack between Reverend and Melvin, AFL, Ben, and even wee Cammy to a degree. Tom and Tip Top as well is in the mix. There's a lot of mini battles going on, I suppose, but the big one being, P4 to P8, a 5-way battle for P4. I think this is going to be, I would have liked to have seen this battle for P1, P2 and P3, but we might need to just settle for this at the moment.
Yeah, well, is AFL going to go have a little go on Reverend? Right, I thought better of that. He was just about to stick it down his inside, just coming up to the final chicane. That would have been a bad error, a very, very bad error. They never were going to come together if he had. We backed off, thought better of it, and for me it was the right decision, but he did cut turn 1, and that gives him a 3-second time penalty.
3 behind the very racy. Wee Cammy looked to have a little move around the final chicane on Big Ben. Thinks better of it and breaks to get a nice little run out of the final corner into the first straight. Ben having a little moment though, losing traction, and Tomo for a second getting by both of them, but through the first sector we can make a little bit of a send, maybe contact together, and Tomo is round. A little bit of maybe I think you used the word audacious earlier on move.
That was Big Pen audacious before, yeah.
Well, it was wee Cammy's turn to be the audacious one on Tomo Tip Top, and that's took him out of the reckoning of
there was a little
whatever this race will end up.
there was a little wheel contact between the two, and then they sort of came back, and I think Wee Cammy had lost it a little bit, like sort of lost the traction. But then there was a sort of slight second contact, and before you knew it, it was done. Wee Cammy's gone on the inside, going towards the final chicane. Oh, there's lovely by Big Ben and Wee Cammy. He took him on the final corner. It looks like Big Ben's going to get back past Wee Cammy's on the inside, going into corner one. Goes deep in there. There's a little bit of contact between them again, them two. Having a great little battle. And then, whoa! Wee Cammy runs Big Ben very, very wide. So these two are enjoying a little bit of battling in there. That was quite good, that. That was a good little bit of racing, all on 8 laps of soft. So 2 laps to go. For whatever happens, and Big Ben's round. Big Ben is
I don't know what to say anymore, Danny. I'm really lost for words at this race, but we'll try and carry on our best, I suppose.
Yeah, well, this is one of the most bizarre races I've come across before, but I think it's just all down to a migration of host, and I think we should just all blame Hedgehog, really.
Yeah, I agree. Just everybody direct your opinions at Hedgehog. Tell them you're a nice guy, but get your internet fixed.
Absolutely. Any complaints? Hedgehog at crl.com. Hedgehog is customer service for this evening. It's not ended the way that we wanted it to. I was pretty devastated about that because, in fairness to the lads, there was some class racing going on there, and it looked like it was set up to be one hell of a finale at the end of that. The strategies were all messed about because of the virtual safety cars and safety cars, so no one knew what on earth they were doing. But it just looked like there was a few that were in the mix, especially who was it? Riyad. I thought he was very, very hard done to. Wee Cammy looked decent as well. He was only on the fresh softs as the safety car was coming out, and then the safety cars absolutely lost the plot. 1 minute it was going inside the pits, and then all of a sudden it's glitched, and in the middle of the final straight, and of course after the final corner, everyone comes foot flat to the floor, absolutely flying down there towards the starting line, and it caused all sorts of problems. There was an instant wing went flying because it appeared in front of them. Loads of people broke. I mean, MUFC Harvey has just been passed by Hedgehog's AI.
He's been disconnected as well, MUFC Harvey.
He's behind. Oh, he's finished.
I don't know. We've had a provisional win, I suppose, for Mark Wilson. 23 seconds ahead of Piero. Mean Man Moody rounding out the provisional podium. Wee Cammy P4. Riordan, that just shows the power, though, of not getting penalties. If anything, what we've learned from this race, jumping up to P5. Big shout out to him at reserve on his debut to do 35 laps of Canada with this connection and not get any penalties. I've got just for that alone, here's my driver of the day.
Driver of the day was the driver of the safety car. he was the one that caused the most. He was driving the DeLorean because one minute it was flying at the pits and just in a puff of smoke and a bit of I think it was petrol set on fire just in behind the tyres, and all of a sudden he was on the open straight again. He's botched the job. And then he's give Mark Wilson an absolute freebie. They said, there you go, son, go and win it. You can go 26 seconds ahead of me while everyone else was behind me. Yeah, I feel like it should have been like DiCaprio's meme face would have been perfect just on the front of the car as it went round. He's facing the window, so that can be. I'm sure you'll look after me in the meme front.
I'm working on them. I'm a little bit behind, but they are in progress. Don't you worry.
If anything, this should have given you so much ammo.
Frothing at the mouth right now, just at the thought of this. But
who's driving the day, mate?
Driver of the day. I think I've got to give it to Riordan. I think he was in a prime spot to win the race before the shenanigans. P7 on the grid on his debut, and then a solid performance throughout the race, not getting a single penalty, even despite being in the middle of all that mess with the safety car and people hitting each other and getting blocked, and I think
Yeah, I don't think we'll bother with the interviews. I mean, it's up to you, but I don't know who to interview. They won't have a clue any more than we do.
I think it could just open up to a bit of demonetization on the YouTube channel. I think
that's it. Yeah, there'll be a few blue choice words that would have come out. I would have thought after that.
Precisely.
But yeah, pretty much all the same. I would put you as my driver of the day today. Considering what we've just seen, it's been a bit of a shock, but I enjoyed it all the same. Hopefully, I'll come back for the rerun. I'll be on time next time as well.
Absolute pleasure to have you, Danny. Like I say, a legend in the game, and if that's the decision, obviously, to go with the rerun, I can't think of anybody I'd rather have sitting beside me in the comms box. You've got a very unique voice, shall I say, and a very unique energy. I just can't wait. I want the hedgehog and pheasant combo in comms one day.
It'll come. It'll come. Hedgehog and pheasant will come at some point. I'll dip in every now and again. I've said I do enjoy it. I have to say I do love being involved in the comms. It's just unfortunately life's a bit busy and can't always do it. But I'll be sure to join you again at some point, hopefully soon. And when this rerun comes up at this race, hopefully I'll dive in with you. And we'll try again. That's if it's a re-race, by the way. I keep saying that as if it's a presumption. It's not a presumption. That might have been the outcome for today, but we'll, it would be pretty harsh on a few drivers, as you can appreciate. So I'll just have to see.
Yeah. Either way, I think the way whatever it's chosen to do, it'll be a bit harsh on some people, but it'll be down to the admins to have a look and see what's best for the health of the race and the league.
Absolutely. Might come to a vote. Sometimes they ask the lads to vote on stuff like that when it's that bad, and give all the drivers a decision. But I suppose they're going to just bet for themselves, aren't they? Wherever they came, if they could have done better, they might want to rerun. And if they're right at the top, you wouldn't want one, would you? But it's how you got there, really, that we have to consider. So, right, cool, mate. Well, I'm gonna shoot off.
Yeah. No worries, Danny. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you everybody that has tuned in for this eventful, shall we say, Canadian Grand Prix. We may see you back in Canada very, very soon, but if not, well, we will actually. We'll see you on Thursday night, of course, for 7:30 BST for Tier 2 and Tier 3, and 8 o'clock for Tier 1, live on the Cone Racing League channel. And then next week, we will see you in the lovely, lovely city of... I don't even think Suzuka's a city, so I've made a total mess of this. You can understand, my head is absolutely gone. I have not a clue what way is up. But thank you anyway for everybody that has joined us. We look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. I've been CRL Freefall, joined by the lovely, lovely Pheasant Plucker 4 as my co-coms tonight. And we will see you all again very, very soon. Thank you.